If when you have kids, that's it.
Yeah.
You have to be a lover.
That's right.
And it's going to be sacrifice involved.
Right.
So I taught junior high for 11 years. What I realized is, because I had a rule, I had one rule. If you're distracting other kids, then I sent you out. And then, of course, it's not like a school. It's at the church building, and people are bringing their kids up there. And I'm like, you have to go get your guardian or one of your parents, and they have to ask me to allow you back in there. Well, the reason I'm doing that is because I'm thinking, well, if I was a parent and a teacher who's not getting paid one dime for doing this has sent my kid out for being disruptive, they're going to have a conversation. And that's probably not going to go well for the kid.
Yeah.
Because
And if they don't have that conversation, then we need to have a conversation with the parent about that child.
well, that's
either
where,
way.
That's where I'm going with this. Then I realized when I had the conversation with the parent what the problem is. Because the parents usually were like, you know, nothing to do about it. What do you want me to do about it? I'm like, what are you talking about? And I
think you're the one that has to do something about it.
And I'm just being honest and transparent. I wound up reading 1 Corinthians 13.
Yeah.
I'm like, look, you don't have a choice. When you had this kid, you have to sacrifice.
Yeah.
And you have to take time out and say, oh, no, we got a problem here. Well, that takes love, unselfishness to have a conversation because there is a problem.
Right.
But I wound up here because they're like, what do you mean? I mean, what do you want me to do about it? I'm like, you're the parent. You're the love giver. And so it's a misdefinition of love because I would start reading. Love does not envy. It does not boast. It's not proud. It is not rude. It is not self-seeking. And I would usually stop and say, all of these qualities your kid is doing. So we have a love problem somewhere. I don't know if that's going from God to you to them, somewhere the cycle.
Yeah, we're not seeing exactly what this is.
Because we should love God and love one another. This person is not loving anybody.
Right.
And
they're selfish.
They're like, well, not my problem. Fix it. I'm like, no, that's not going to work. But when I get down to this where it says not easily angered, keeps no record of wrongs, it does not delight in evil. Because usually the more you got into these situations, there was some evil going on in their life, in the kid's life, because you could just tell this person is not conforming to social gatherings.
Yeah.
And especially in the name of Christ. They're being disruptive, mad, angry, whatever. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. But what I found so disheartening is a lot of these parents would just talk about themselves the whole time. Like this is not about you. You brought another human onto this planet. And we're trying to figure out what's wrong with them because they're being disrupted. What do I got to do to get you to see we have a problem here that needs to be addressed? How can I help you? You need to get these qualities. You need to give these qualities to your kid and expect them to do the same. They're just looking like, well, I can't do that.
Right.
I'm busy or whatever. And then you get into the real problems. It's abuse or whatever. But
right.
it's like I'm just so shocked at how when you challenge parents in that setting, how they're just like, well, it's not my responsibility. I'm like, well, whose is it?
Well, you're the Bible teacher.
I did this for 11 years, and there was always a kid or two where this happened. So, and, it caused a lot of controversy and edgy behavior. And I've shared this story before, but I had 2 boys that just would not pay attention. They come in there, disrupted the whole thing. And so sent them out. Parent came, said, this kind of logic. And she basically said, I got nothing. That's why I'm bringing them to you. Fix them, Yeah. So I thought, okay, because she just was not open to doing the necessary things that 1 Corinthians 13 says. So I was like, well, if they're going to be here. So I told them, I said, look, here's what I'll do. I pulled $100 bill. Back then, I didn't have a lot of money.
I'm surprised you even had $100.
I got one. And I said, if y'all will sit there and not be disruptive and pay attention, I'm going to give you this $100. Guess what? 45 minutes, they did not make a peep. Not a peep. Attentive. Listened. So after it was over, they said, where's the $100? I said, I'm not giving you that $100 bill. Now look, you said, why? I said, because you told me a lie. You said that you were incapable of doing it. So then when I see the mom, I thought she's going to thank me. She's like, I want that $100. My kids tell me what happened. I was like, you don't understand. They said that they couldn't pay attention because they had ADHD. I proved all that wrong in one setting. I was like, their problem was the motivation.
Forget Ritalin. Jay said a Hondo will take care of that problem.
Yeah, $100
Did you give him the Hondo?
No. I said, I'm not giving you, because they're like, well, you aren't being honest. I said, well, neither were you. All I did,
I cannot wait. Zach, you got to read the comments on this story because they're going to be all over the map.
I was trying to get the mom to see that you're in a delusion that you're like, well, there's nothing I can do about it. Sure there is.
Yeah, put a Hondo down.
It's their motivation. No, it's a lie.
No, I got you. I got what you're saying.
This is all a lie. You are capable of doing it.
Yeah.
You just need to have the right motivation. That's on you.
That's right. Discipline. It's called discipline.
Yeah. And so anyway, that went, next thing I know, the elders are saying.
I knew this was going to turn into a bad church story. All right, we're gonna